Hey everybody, it's the TED Show, episode 12 with Aaron Ludin, right? Is that how you say it?
Got it.
All right, so I got corrected the other day from a friend I've known for 35 years.
You know how to say
Dave Fraser is not Frazier. Did you know that?
No,
I
did
Dave?
not.
So there you go, Dave.
I've been saying it wrong.
He's learned. Me too.
Dave.
Me too.
I apologize.
Me too. Well, I'm 35 years into this relationship, so...
At least I printed it right?
Exactly. You can't misspell Fraser, I guess, or Fraser. So there's already people on, and you know I'm a little behind on the technology.
Oh, Charnel, way to do
Hey,
that.
Charnel, how's the shot?
Here.
Is it okay? I'm hoping you will tell us.
Charnel is an appropriate setup.
It's the best I can do right now, Charnel.
Hey, Kara Somerville. Can she hear?
Hi, Kara. Everybody can hear us fine. I tried to do a mic check earlier.
Kara, let us know if you can hear me.
Yes, you got to be able to hear.
Because I'm not facing Ted. We want to make sure I'm not.
That's right.
So, we got some likes. That means they can hear us.
They're trying, and of course I'm trying to find the thing like I do every single day.
Let me share your video
on our comments. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. It's the 12th episode. It's Friday, TGIF. Thank you guys for being here.
I'm at the 13th on Friday.
No, you know, I've got somebody coming for the 13th episode, but it's a Monday. And of course, my Facebook's not showing anything, so you'll have to give me some of the
No problem. I'm
cues
posting right now.
Charnel, I hope you can figure out later what's going on with this. So Aaron and I was trying to figure out where it was that we met. Was it here?
It must be.
Was it here?
I can tell you where I first knew about you.
Oh, is it legal to say?
Yeah, it is legal. I was selling Cutco knives in people's kitchens from college, and my good friend Todd Bryant gave me a list of people I should call.
Love Todd Bryant.
And you know what I told him? Gave me a list of people from the I told him I don't really call dudes.
We love you, Todd.
I told him I don't call dudes, I call housewives. And he gave me this list of business people, and I didn't know what to do with it. And here's why it's so funny: is 7-8 years later, I found this list, and a majority of these are clients of mine, friends of mine. I mean, it's like you, Dan Grebe was on the list.
Oh yeah, Dan's awesome.
I mean, it's people I see here all the time, and I'm laughing, thinking like, oh, it took me 8 years to realize I probably should have called his leads.
So you did housewife. Well, let's talk about what you do. So you started Cutco, right? You started with Cutco, probably one of the youngest. Well, I'll let you tell the story as I'm trying to...
Yeah, I'm thinking where to start. So basically, I started at Cutco when I was 17. I was going to Winter Park High School. One of the youngest people in the company's history to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
That's amazing.
Had a really amazing experience there. My team still sells a lot of Cutco, just in a non-traditional way. But basically put my way through college, paid my way through Rollins freshman year.
And tell people what Cutco is, because a lot of people, they don't know.
Cutco are high-quality kitchen knives, the best in the world, made in New York, guaranteed forever. They employ tens of thousands of college students to pay for school and they teach them sales skills. So the whole idea is, you're learning about how to build a book of business, how to get referrals, how to do a sales presentation. People are visiting or letting you come by because you can earn scholarship credit when you don't sell. And so I would call someone like Ted. I'd say, hey, Todd, introduce me to you. I'm a student going to you at Rollins. I'm looking to earn a scholarship for school. I get paid to show these products to people. You don't have to get anything. I can get paid either way. But he didn't say you'd get something, but you might not mind taking a quick look to help me out.
Right.
I would meet with Ted. I would do an awesome presentation. My knives would be badass. His knives would not. He'd end up buying the stuff. He'd like me. He'd like the stuff. That's kind of how it worked. And then
I love the confidence
I'd milk him for all the referrals I could get. So
you don't milk people for referrals. You're so good at that.
Fact,
and I do want to talk about that because think you're...
If you see Craig Polgis around...
I see Craig.
His wife is still the record holder for the most referrals I got on an appointment.
How many did she send?
Like 380. I mean, some insane number.
Oh my God.
We spent hours on it, and I can't thank her enough. So Allie, if you're watching this, thank you.
So
because
cool.
It changed my business back in the day.
But how did you decide? Okay, I'm out of high school. I'm working, and then Cutco. Like, who introduced you to that?
So
how would you ever know?
I was in high school. It was the summer before my senior year started.
And I'm going to try to keep pulling stuff up. People.
No problem. I was working at Hollister at the mall. I was 16 at the time, and I guess when I left Hollister, one of the friends from Hollister had recommended me to this job. They called me like your buddy Ben, who had been fired from the job, by the way. So they said Ben had made like $800 his first weekend, and you should come in. And I was like, dude, if Ben can make $800, You know, he got fired. I'm in. So I went in, and took me a little while to learn, but I remember winning a trip to Cancun during high school, and
yeah, a high schooler, that's huge.
That was like, I was like, dude, I'm gonna at least do this through college. Like, send me to Cancun, I'm in. Long story short, I made $50,000 that year, my senior year of high school, and that changed my whole thinking for where I was going, for running a business, for what it could look like.
Because back then, was it simply knives, or did they have other products?
I mean, kitchen
it's
knives.
Such an interesting thing, and they can hear us, by the way.
Pots and pans, knives.
So that's hence the housewife approach.
Exactly.
So then, what made you turn and go, wow, business people should use this?
It's a great question. So, I was going to school at USF, got my degree in marketing, or was getting my degree in marketing, reading like $100 a year or something insane. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Reading like $50 a year. Studying marketing, teaching, and basically because I had sold so much Cutco quickly, I started to travel around the country and speak at their conferences, around the state even more, like at team meetings and conference calls and regional events and division meetings. So I was speaking like hundreds of times a year, you know, and becoming just very natural as a speaker and coach and trainer. And, you know, every day people would say, can you speak on this conference call? Can you speak at this thing? Can you get on a webinar? So we started recording it all, and people started watching it around the country, and I'd get called to speak at stuff. And so I already sort of started to transition this entrepreneurial speaking coaching kind of role. But long story short, the top people in Cutco, basically 1 year, someone basically said to me, hey, the very top people are all doing this realtor thing. They're all selling engraved gifts to realtors. You do really well at this. You're already doing Orlando brand. You already have this Orlando branding agency. It's right up your alley. So it's speaking, consulting, marketing. And I was like, sweet. I'm tired of being knife kid.
The knife kid.
Like,
sounds like a Criminal Minds episode.
I was just tired of like going to see people that made the same amount of money as me, that treated me like, hey, you're just some knife kid. So long story short, we started selling engraved Cutco knives as closing gifts all around the state at real estate meetings. And over the last 7 years, my team's grown. We've spoken at hundreds and hundreds of events, and it's just grown in this thing where, you know, when I do a good job pitching, they'll ask me to come back and speak. So I'll come in and speak, and they'll ask me to do a training, and then that'll spread. And so it's kind of went from this, like, I was selling knives to speaking all over the country to selling to realtors to now I speak and do training at different boards. I've been brought in national conventions. I've been a keynote speaker at, you know, like La Rosa brought me out a year or two ago to their quarterly meeting, and Century 21 lets me teach breakouts at their state conventions every year.
I guess what happened,
just kind of like
it all organically blossomed. But what's cool about it is that you started out with knives, right? So people start out in any business, and you're not really sure what direction it could take you, but you were open to it, and then you realized, oh my God, I can speak. Maybe you didn't know you could speak before. I mean, I don't think anybody graduates high school and go, I'm going to be a speaker.
No, I definitely didn't know I was going to be a speaker, but I tell you, I knew I could speak. I had done I had done some acting as a kid. Talking was always my forte. So I knew I could speak. Then
you're, and just for the record, people, he's not speaking about knives when he's speaking. When you do a keynote speech,
marketing,
it's not about
or motivation.
Yeah,
or
I mean, you've got the picture we have on here is winning. Hey, Lenny, how are you? The picture we have, hey, Tim Beagle's on too.
What's up, Tim?
The picture I have that I posted this morning, it says winning is, and I don't
winning
have,
starts here.
Yes, which is, but that's what you do. You're trying to motivate, and by motivating, it's your brand. You're branding yourself, but you're also giving them tips that aren't in your face. Buy this, buy this, buy this.
Exactly. Look, I try to leave an impact. I want to leave a dent on the people around me. Like, I want to make an impact by being the right type of person, by having my energy affect people. Like, I want people to rub off on others, and I want to connect people with each other. And the vehicle that I use right now, you know, maybe these businesses that relate to real estate agents, but it doesn't really encompass who I am. I do a ton of speaking, a ton of training. I have 3 different businesses that I'm involved with on a day-to-day basis, and they tend to overlap to an extent, but to me, it's never been encompassed by something. You know, like, I don't work for Cutco.
Right.
You know, I sell Cutco products, but people every day say, like, oh, did you, like they'll see me working, you know, on Orlando Real Producers that we'll probably talk about later.
Yep,
and they'll say, oh, are you not with Cutco anymore? Or I saw you're selling bottles, are you not with, and I never was with Cutco. I distribute their products.
Correct.
So But I share that because most people think that they have to be encompassed by what they do. You know, like our identities typically are so wrapped up in what we do that who we are and what we do in a lot of cases aren't separate.
That's such a great
and
point.
They need to be. They're so that's really something that I focus on is who I am and what I do aren't necessarily the same thing.
Correct.
Who I am is who I'm being. What I do is just a byproduct.
Correct.
Of bringing
That's
value
very cool
to
because
people.
I think you're right. People pigeonhole themselves into one thing, or they pigeonhole somebody else into one thing. That's sort of where this whole show thing came into play because everybody would ask, and you would refer people to me, and they'd be like, "What do you do?" And then you'd rattle off 10 things that I did, and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I need to figure out how to get that message out there and how to brand." So, I mean, you were definitely a motivation for this. I had the URL a long time ago, but as we were talking, I'm like, yeah, he introduces me, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say. Like, I do mortgages. We've talked about that. Insurance. I do consulting. So I agree. The pigeonholing is so a connector. Let's talk
You're
about
a
that.
connector. That's what I tell people.
You're a connector. So the networking. Talk about networking, how important that is. And one thing before he says that, I have to give him accolades because I've said it before. Selfless. He's a selfless connector. Yes, eventually he's planting seeds, and we talked about this on yesterday's show too. You're planting seeds, but you're not. What are you getting out of that other than an introduction? So he does so much connecting for other people without necessarily seeing an immediate benefit, and I think that's where people misunderstand how networking works.
Yeah.
They go to a networking event, hand out their cards, and hope that they make 5 sales at the networking event.
It's crazy. It's really like it's about building what we call your power sphere, right? Like if you got this sphere of people that know you, and you need to get them from knowing you to knowing, liking, and trusting you, and then you need to get them from knowing, liking, and trusting you to being an advocate for you. And there's not really a good way to do that, in my opinion, without setting them something, without connecting with people, without bringing, not just bringing value, but being relevant on a day-to-day basis. So if I'm just here at the club working 2 tables over, I'm not relevant to you today. Right. You might say hi, whatever. But if I'm giving you referrals on a day-to-day basis, then it's increasing my value with you and my relevance on your day-to-day life and the amount of times you're thinking of sending something back. So when it comes to reciprocity, top-of-mind awareness, karma, any of these things, they all tell us we should be giving. And I really just have an abundance mindset where, givers gain. There's enough around for everyone.
That's awesome.
And people that sit around trying to hoard things and looking at it from a scarcity mindset, they typically get more scarcity. They typically, when you see resources as limited, they become limited. And I think when you see it as unlimited, they are.
Well, people who walk around, I see them even at the club or really anywhere. If you walk around like you've got a cloud over your head all the time, that's it. That's the energy you're putting out there, and that's what you're attracting. And I'm not trying to get into the secret or law of attraction, but I'm a big believer in abundance too, abundance thinking. And so you have to put it out there. You have to. I like that. You turn it around,
decide,
as you should.
We got a game tomorrow.
It's filled with vodka. It's not filled with vodka.
It could be, though.
It has been. Mine has been. I almost brought mine today. But I agree with you. So I'll see people up here, and all they do is complain about how they're not doing well in business. Real estate's bad. Well, real estate, I think, is good. All the people I talk to, exactly.
Look,
so if you put it out there all day long that something's bad, that's all the world knows about you, and that's the only energy and the only stuff you're going to get back. Not to get really crazy philosophical, but I'm a huge believer.
Yeah, I think that opportunities are endless when you're around the right people. So when you're around the right people, opportunities are endless. When you're around the wrong people, there's no opportunity. The world's coming down. Everything's scarce. There's not enough there. It's just those people. And what's funny is, like, no matter whether the economy's good, whether it's bad, whether it's anything in between, there's $13 trillion circulating. So, like, go get some.
Right.
If you have the attitude, you get around the right people. I remember, I'll give you an example. I was at an event, and I was speaking about this concept, and I was laughing because I was around all these speakers. We were speaking in a military base. I was around all these big name speakers and writers and authors, and I was talking about a book I wanted to launch. And the guy next to me goes, "Dude, you want to launch a book? I'll make sure it's a bestseller." Like, it was so casual.
That's
like
so awesome.
As if like I told him, like, "Hey, can you hold this for me?" And he said, "Sure." Like, of course I can. It was, and what's funny is, like, if you get around the wrong people, they'll tell you every reason why you shouldn't write your book, 100%. Every reason why it won't sell, every person that's ever failed at it, every obstacle you might have.
Yes.
When you're around the right person, they not only know they can do it, it's like so casual, like it's nonchalant. It was like, oh, that'd be no big deal. I could do that in my sleep, and it made me laugh because I started thinking this group of people could have been 3, 4, 5 other people and what would they have said about the same idea?
And what
would have their reality have been?
Right.
You know?
And it's interesting that there's a saying out there, or there's a book probably about it, but you're a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with, or some number like that. And so if you take a look at your day and see who you're spending time with, if they're not your proponent, your cheerleader, positive, can introduce you to people that are also positive, then you might want to take a look at who you're hanging around with on a daily basis, my opinion.
Amen.
So let's talk also about reading, because you mentioned that earlier, and then we'll get to Orlando Real Producers.
Let's do it.
So Aaron is awesome. He's very motivating on a lot of levels, but one of the things I love on his social media is he posts about the books that he reads. Always killing it, Aaron, says Sean Moore.
Missing our wine taste.
Yeah, missing our wine. I'm missing our wine. And hi, everybody. I'm sorry I missed some of the comments that have gone by.
By the way, this is my first Friday starting
look at that.
in a while, drinking at 1.
Drinking at 1. Oh, this is my first Friday starting drinking at 1.
This week.
Who believes that? So, books, though. That seems like a lost art. But you commit to reading 50 books a year?
50 books a year.
And you post about them, and you post some information about them. And I think that's so cool, because a lot of people don't talk about reading. We all want to skim through because we have the attention spans of a gnat because of the way things are. And so it takes time and effort to read, but you promote it. And so I love that. So talk a little bit about it.
I read at least 50 books a year on personal growth, motivation, marketing, customer service, like whatever. It's usually it's not fiction. Let's put it that way. It's all stuff that I can implement or teach to my clients. So I've had that as a commitment for the last 4 years. I've done it, and trying to think of where to even start with. Really, it's about who you become in the process. One of my friends, John Wasserman, if he's watching this, shout out to John. He had read 50 books in a year, and then he wrote a book, and he spoke at this conference about how it changed his life completely. He lost all this weight, wrote a book, shattered all the records in his business and personal life, and he said, the best thing about reading 50 books is who you become the next year. And so I started doing it every year. Brian Tracy says it takes 100 books to be an expert on something. So I figured if I just read 100 books on each topic I want to be an expert on, it'll take me 2 years each time instead of 10 years. As they typically say, it takes 10 years to be an expert on something too, or 100 books. Well, I wanted to cut that learning curve down. And really, when I'm teaching classes, I'm not teaching my stuff. I'm teaching I'm curating from the best of the best.
Great word.
You want me to come teach a class full of realtors? People will say, well, what's this kid going to... I started doing this at 22, 23. People would look at me and say, what's this kid going to teach me to sell in real estate? And I'd say, well, it's not my material. It's, it's the top trade. It's all the people you weren't willing to go read.
Correct.
Or learn from. But also, it overlapped with the Cutco experience. So I had been in thousands of homes in Central Florida that I had to call, I had to get referred to, I had to prospect, I had to get in their kitchen, line up the appointment, have them show up, and close the deal. And it might be different than real estate, but enough of it overlaps with the stuff that agents weren't doing, making the calls and getting referrals.
Right.
So,
but you implement. So that's one of the things I think that we do. We think it's going to automatically, when we read or learn anything or go to a seminar, we think, oh God, I'm there, so that should be enough. And then we don't implement it. We don't take it to the next level or begin to utilize it in our businesses and personal lives. So how do you do, I think people do that. They go to a seminar and they think, this is great for me, and then all of a sudden it's not working. Well, they're not implementing what they learned in the seminar.
I don't have an answer for how to do it, but I have an answer that should help. A lot of people, they think they need motivation. Whenever I speak, I spoke at a conference a couple weeks ago, and what's up, Dallas? Thank you for everything you said, but thank you. Anyway, I went to a conference and speaking to a couple hundred students, and the biggest question I get is how do you have all this energy, or how do you stay motivated? And I would share with them, the key isn't motivation. The key is learning to take action when you're not motivated. So when it comes to implementing stuff, typically it's just that people are waiting for some external circumstance that says, here's my moment to actually implement it, or here's my moment to do what I'm supposed to do. And for me, it's there's now and that's it. Your day and your life are the same thing. So if I want to move my life forward in this area, and I have to start today. I can't get up and look myself in the mirror and say, I'm going to accomplish this, but I'm going to take a nap first.
Correct.
Or I'm going to accomplish this, but I'm going to start tomorrow. Right. It's just not congruent. And so for me, it's really about learning to take action when I'm not motivated, whether or not I feel like it. That's irrelevant. I don't care. I have to manage my emotions. I don't let emotions change my decisions. I don't let emotions change my behavior. I don't let emotions set me off course. And so for me, it's really about like learning that, yes, emotions come, they happen. Like I feel them, but I don't react to them. Correct. I choose to change them. So if something happens external that makes me frustrated, I have to stop and put myself in a new state and pick a state. Do I want to stay frustrated, or would I rather be in a more empowered state? So I'll switch. And so that's something a lot of people screw up.
That's a choice that people...
The choice. All emotions
You have to make the choice. My kids used to hate when I would say, well, you're choosing not to be happy. And if they're listening, they're probably cringing right now. So you choose. Who are we waving to? I saw all those people behind.
She sent me messages.
Lisa and Brittany are behind us.
Yep, they are.
So talk about Orlando Real Producers.
Okay, so basically I've spent all the 7+ years building great relationships with every broker I could find in town, top producing agents, and I've got also a business partner in Indianapolis, so I've got to give credit to Remington Ramsey, who really pioneered this idea. We were having conversations years ago about how we knew all these brokers. We had great relationships in the real estate world. People would tell us, we see you everywhere. But we wouldn't get in front of the people that really were game changers in our business that often. And so we decided to create a platform. We also found in the real estate community, there's a gap, meaning the very top producers, they tend to be loners to an extent. They tend to do their thing and go home. They don't like to come to events. They don't like to network with each other. Right. They don't like to connect. So we wanted to build an actual community among the top producers. So we wanted to help the top vendors in town that supply them and the top agents in town meet and build better relationships, be more inspired, give back to the community more, and so on and so on.
So it's not just so I think initially when it came out, people were like, oh great, another magazine that's going to list out the top this.
No.
But it's really much more than that.
No, it's really about facilitating relationships, helping people meet each other, know each other's stories, fueling their competitive spirit, and really like pushing people to give back. So, for example, our next issue tells a story of Gil Ramos and Bobby Davidowitz, who started the West Arts District. It talks about how they wanted to do a project that would give back to the community, not just sell houses. And so this commercial project of theirs is all a passion project that gives back and changes the faces of Orlando. And so I want people to read it and notice that you could do more than sell houses. And so we tell people stories, we highlight their stories, we tell the stories of top producers, the rising stars, we print the standings of the top 200, but really we vet really quality vendors. We look really hard, we don't accept everyone, we don't take people that just send a check, and then we host really good events that we go big or go home.
Yeah, the events are awesome, actually.
Big events where we get everyone together, so if you're a builder, or you're a title company, or you're a mover, or a paver, or a pool company, you want to meet the top 1%, like the people that actually could be a game changer in your business. There are plenty of places to meet clients that are great clients, but not relationship-wise, but mathematically could be replaceable. Right. We want to get you in front of people that the math is there, that if you could win their business, it'd make the world
of difference.
And
that's what you did. I mean, the first event that you had was outstanding. It was here.
It was here.
At Citrus Club, and then you had the Mansion event.
The Mansion party.
Which was insane, but everybody, what was great about it is everybody came together and there was almost a community cohesiveness about it.
That's what we're trying to create. Look, the truth, Ted, is not everyone gets it yet. Like a lot of people, they think it's advertising, they think it's about a magazine. They're missing like the picture is the platform. There's nobody in the city that targets the top producers. I'll give you an example. The board of realtors has to serve all their members. That's their obligation. Right. Nothing wrong with that. It's just they have to serve all their members. Right. They can't host an event that's only for the top people. Women's Council has to get members. They have to be welcoming and warm and nice to everyone that shows up.
We do.
To grow. And they are, by the way.
Thank you.
But we're able to be the one group that's biased. So it's great that you're excited about coming to an event, but if you didn't sell X amount, like you weren't on the list, you weren't invited, and because of that differentiation, it's not like one's better or worse, it's just different. It's just a new layer for our vendors to meet top producers, for our top producers to meet vendors that are vetted, that they know can do a great job, that were referred by other top producers, and a place where they can mix and mingle with people on their level, where they don't have to go somewhere where it's watered down. When it's an education event, we gear towards the top. You know, the whole thing is supposed to stimulate people actually selling, and that's the idea.
And you're educating people in the magazine. It's not just a whole bunch of ads.
No,
it's you do interviews.
We interview top producers. We tell the stories of people.
Which, if you're not a top producer, let's say, or you're trying to work toward it, why wouldn't you want to hear what a top producer knows and get some tidbits of information and how to do business with them?
Sure. And right now, I mean, this has been so well received by the real estate community. We've spread to 30 plus markets.
Wow.
So we're literally right now we are in print. I'll try to name them, but I might screw this up. So if you're watching this and you own one of these, and
I love it.
Sorry, but we're in Raleigh, Nashville, DC, Indianapolis, Charlotte, St. Louis, Columbus, Ohio, Phoenix, Atlanta just went to print. Jacksonville just went to print. Daytona's in pre-launch. San Antonio, Houston, San Diego's going to print. You get the idea. We've got the Bay Area, Silicon Valley's about to go to print. We've got one in Northeast Washington. We've got one in Lincoln, Nebraska. We've got one in Pittsburgh. And these things are blowing up, like all around the country.
I think if it was just an ego-driven publication, it wouldn't blow up like that because people would get tired of seeing the same people over and over. So because you're adding value to it, not just for the realtors that are involved, but the vendors, like you said.
What's up, Jason Asa?
What's up, Jason? Hi, Melody. I'm sorry, I need to pay more attention to this.
Here, Jason.
Yeah, but you give them an opportunity to tell their story,
and we don't charge them.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
You cannot pay to be on the cover of this magazine. Like, we won't take your money. You can't ask to be on the front. You've got to be nominated. We've got to like you. Other people have to like you, and you've got to have a decent story, to be honest.
So let me do a couple of things, housekeeping things, because believe it or not, we're at 27 minutes. Let's talk about the websites. Orlando Branding Agency, right? .com.
OrlandoBranding.com.
Orlando Branding. OrlandoRealProducers.com.
OrlandoRealProducers.com.
What's the third website I'm missing? Do you have another one?
Not yet, but Erin Ward is going to help me build it.
So. Erin Ward's awesome. So you definitely we're going to have her on here.
But just Facebook, Erin Ludin. Follow me. I don't have friends to add, to be honest.
Now, do you have, you've got some things out here? Are we going to do, you said you might have something.
Give something away?
Let's give something away.
Let's do this. How about this? I'm thinking of a number.
I love this.
Between 1 and, how many people are on this? 15. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 30. And whoever gets the closest is going to get a branded charge hub. These will charge 5 devices at once.
Those are cool.
5 USBs around it. They plug into the wall. Branded charge hub. Guess the number. Drop it in the comment below, and you win. So
and then
1 and 30.
1 and 30. So people are guessing.
I'll let them keep going.
So a couple of things from yesterday's show. So Rigo Rodriguez won the wine. He answered the trivia question, where was Nicole Dupre's launch for Opera del Sol going to be? And it's at Kennedy Space Center. And today's question is, yesterday I had Mary Gardner on. That was an awesome interview. She's amazing. What TV show was Mary a host on? And the first person to answer gets a bottle of wine. So Rigo, congratulations. Aaron, it was so awesome to have you on, man. It went fast, right?
Thank you, I know.
We need more time.
Double.
I appreciate you guys' patience. Charnel, thank you for she's on a flight. She said we sounded awesome.
Can I make a last
please,
remark?
make a remark.
So, if you're out there watching this video and we haven't met yet, and you run a business that needs to get in front of the top real estate agents in the city, or you run a business that needs to show appreciation to your top clients, to your employees, at closings, whatever. Like, you need to give gifts and show appreciation better than you've been doing. Reach out to me. Let's connect. We'd love to work together. Like you said, I'm a connector. I'll find people you should meet and introduce you to them. And,
he will. Best connector. Seriously, selfless connector. He's awesome. So I appreciate you coming on, man. I can't believe we went so long.
Thank you.
So now we're going to use the $8 that we had, and Aaron's going to hit that little finish button. Do you see it?
Let's do it.
Just hit the. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. We love you.